Hey everyone, I'm Meg, and I'm going to be painting a human skeleton hand from this book I picked up from the library. It's not the one from the cover though, so if you're curious about what I'm using as a reference, you'll just have to keep watching, because I'll show you soon. I'm using some 7x10 watercolor paper I got from Michael's and taping it to my board. I really prefer to use normal masking tape because you can see the edge of the paper through it, but I couldn't find mine at the time, so I had to use this blue tape and ended up drawing some guidelines so I could tape it more evenly because yeah, you can't see through this blue stuff. So I like to prime whatever I'm going to paint on with some gesso because I tend to drag my feet when it comes to starting, so this just sort of gets the ball rolling. I'm mixing some blue craft paint into the gesso to tint it because I think it makes it easier to see lighter colors when you put them down. And also, it's just less intimidating than starting with a blank white void. I'll change up what color I tint it based on how I want the piece to feel and how I'm feeling in the moment. I think using some fun color makes me feel like I've already done something cool to start, which makes everything else feel easier and more exciting, if that makes sense. And yeah, this is the photo I'm painting from. Told you I'd show you. So when working with acrylics, because they tend to dry so fast, I prefer to do a quick sketch to help guide me, and for that I'm using a light blue pastel pencil. I just find that with graphite I kind of have trouble erasing it, or it'll smear, or kind of mix in with the paint and make it grayish, which I want to avoid. So I'm starting to mix my paints here, but I actually ended up mixing them off camera because I felt nervous with the camera watching, like the pressure was on, but hopefully as I film myself painting more often, it'll get easier and I'll be able to show you guys my process. But yeah, this is what I ended up with just using the red, yellow, and blue from the Artist Loft pack. And this is what my palette looked like after the first pass. I just added in some white for more of the lighter colors. And then I had to go to work. So it's a couple of days later, and here I'm using some gesso and acrylic paint to get the background a little more opaque. I actually didn't end up liking how bright this color looked when I put it on the paper, so I ended up going back and covering it all up, but it was still an important step in making the background look more solid looking. Also, shout out to all of the other artists who are out here on a budget too. There is no shame in using the cheaper or less known brand of supplies to make your art at any skill level. I truly believe that the act of creating art should be kept accessible to everyone, and in my opinion, choosing a more expensive price tag will not automatically make you a better artist. Like, it may expand your current supply set, but it won't change your current skill set just upon purchasing. I feel like it's more about how much you practice and use your supplies versus what supplies you use to practice, because you can practice with just about anything. And there is some discussion to be had about quality differences in some cases, but in my experience, it's not nearly as hindering or noticeable as people who use expensive or trending products make it out to be. You can do a lot of cool and beautiful and powerful things with anything that leaves a mark. So if you're ever feeling left out because you feel like you don't have what the other content creators have, I hear you, but just try to remember that you do have what they have. You are as much an artist as they are, you make art too, and you deserve to feel good about how you made it as well. I didn't film myself mixing this dark blue, but I'm just using it to cover the lighter blue background from before. I liked how in the reference image the background is shadowy and dark, which gives it a sort of spooky and academic feel, so I wanted to replicate that. Also, I really encourage whoever is watching this video to head on over to your local library instead of like a big chain bookstore and get yourself a library card if you don't already have one. It was actually pretty fun to browse through the oversized scientific picture books that my library has, and I'm guessing you might find some pretty cool stuff in yours too. Plus, the best part is that it's free. So yeah, I signed it off camera, but now it's complete. I hope you guys liked my video. Remember to like, subscribe, leave me a comment on what I should paint next, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm Meg, this is Macaroni Cat, and I'll see you next time. Bye.